Well, hello everyone, Don Ballance here at NewTek, and welcome to another live Facebook tutorial here from NewTek in San Antonio. And today I'd like to talk a little bit about putting a little automation into your production by adding the capability to do Vox. Now this means you can set up your production switcher so that when an input has audio coming into it, that it goes to program and becomes the output that we're currently looking at. You can actually set this up quite easily using the TriCaster with Advanced Edition. Let's go ahead and take a look. Now, I'm going to start out, I have, just to show you the content that we're using, I have a couple of video clips in my DDRs, and it's a conversation that's happening between these two people. I'll go ahead and just play a little bit of the conversation for you. And they're just going to bounce back and forth talking to each other about a NewTek talk show. That's great. So first thing I'm going to do is make the macro. And this is a very simple macro. We're going to call this macro number 1, and this is going to bring ME1 to program. So we simply hit record, we bring ME1 to program, and we stop. And that macro is made. Now the second macro is going to bring DDR2, which is where the other talent is, to program. So again, I'm going to make a macro and call it macro number 2. I'll record it and I'll simply bring DDR2 to program and stop. So I now have my two macros for ME1 to program and DDR2 to program. Now to set these up for Vox, I do that within the audio mixer. And the talent sources, the audio sources, are actually coming from my DDRs, but this could be done on live inputs, of course. I'm going to go to DDR number 1. And right down under the processing tab, down at the bottom, you have an automation section. And this allows us to run a macro at a decibel level. So we're going to say we want to run a macro, and I'm just going to run that down to its minimum value, which is -50 dB. So if any audio shows up on this input, you can have this event happen. The E is for event. And we can have the event happen for when the audio starts, and then again a different event for when the audio stops, but we're just going to use when the audio starts. So I want ME1 to be brought to program when there's audio coming in on DDR1. Great, and we'll do the same thing for DDR2. And we're going to say we want to run this macro when any audio shows up, and that is going to take DDR2 to program. It's all set up and completely automatic from this point. I'm just going to run both of the DDRs and we can see the output. So as you can see, as each person starts to speak, audio appears on their channel. And as soon as audio appears on their channel, then the macro runs and they're switched to program out. And this creates Vox. It's automatic switching. We need no operator behind the TriCaster or behind the production system to be able to make the switch happen. Now there is a little bit of safety built in there for you. The audio is not going to trigger that macro unless it is consistent audio for a short period of time. That way we don't catch somebody coughing or clearing their throat on microphone and inadvertently switch to them. Well, I hope this tutorial has been helpful to you, and if you have any comments or suggestions for other things you'd like covered, please put them in the comments below, and we'll see you again next Tuesday for another live Facebook tutorial.